Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing great wherever you may find yourselves. Blessings to all of you wonderful people out there. We've all been there, right? You're sound asleep. It's a great feeling. But your brain decides to play a cruel trick on you, a cruel trick indeed, and send you a message and wake you up out of a deep sleep. It's a horrible feeling. There are different ways this happens. Your brain sends you a message, hey, you may have forgotten this. Or, hey, where did I put something? Or some sort of thing you're doubting and you want to double check it. Like, did I leave the lights on my car and now my battery's dead and you got to get up and go check? Or a wonderful thing, despite the fact that you're now wide awake and you'd rather be sleeping, that you come to a realization, you come to an epiphany, you figured out a solution to something. Well, where am I going with this? Well, a while back, just a little bit over a year ago, I did a series called Back to Back where I talked about 2 albums in a discography of a band or artist that go so well together. And initially I started with 20 videos and then I went to 24. And I wanted to do 25 because, it's not divisible by 5, right? I know it's silly, but 24 seemed like you need that one, and I'm not going to, nor will I ever do a video just do a video. It's disingenuous. So I was like, well, I'll just leave it at 24 and be done with it. Well, last night, sound asleep, and I woke up wide awake like a light switch going off, and my brain finally had a eureka moment, an epiphany, a revelation. I finally found the 25th paired albums that are back-to-back that I wanted to share with you. So this series is called Back-to-Back. If you've not seen them, check them out. And it's called Back-to-Back, the greatest album pairs of all time. There's nothing ranked. So one video doesn't say this is number 19 and this one's 18. They're all just, no ranking. They're just presented to you because they're wonderful album pairs for a band or an artist. Here are the parameters. Of course, the 2 albums must follow one another sequentially or chronologically in the said discography. They have to both be seminal works by the band or artist. They have to complement one another. That's the same way as saying that they're companion albums because they go so well together. In other words, the second one, picks up where the previous album left off with respect to production or tone of the album or types of songs, that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. And the real kicker for me why I decided to do this series is because for me, all these pairs I often will listen to as a double album back to back. And so what I'm presenting with you today is, and I can't believe I didn't think of this because I love these 2 albums and I listen to them quite often back to back, talking about Neil Young's After the Gold Rush, 1970, and then the follow-up 1972 Harvest. So let's go ahead and get started with After the Gold Rush. The title track, Tell Me Why is the opening track. This is a great acoustic number. Young's voice is so inspiring, as it all is, but this is what I mean is super inspiring. And it's a song about loneliness, perhaps a theme or motif of the album, more of that to come. It's a wonderful song. This has a Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young type feel to it, that acoustic type folkiness to it. I love it. The chorus is just phenomenal. Next, you get the title track. You have some great piano here. What makes the song so interesting and compelling is not just the music, but the lyrics. It's composed of 3 parts where Young sings about the Middle Ages, but of course it's a metaphor. And then he sings about the present day, so 1972. And then he sings about the end of the world, the apocalypse, where the human race is being evacuated, only the chosen few now, into a silver spaceship. So Styx and Zebra, eat your heart out because you didn't do it first. Neil Young seems to have. Let me know if there's an artist before 1970 who did a song about human beings evacuating into the sky because the earth is going to go bye-bye or something to that effect. So Styx was 1977 on The Grand Illusion, Come Sail Away, and Zebra's debut, Zebra, with Who's Behind the Door, 1983. All right, so back to the music, great piano. There's this wonderful section in the present section, the second section, or movement, if you will, of the song, where Neil Young is in his basement that's burned out. I don't know if that's a metaphor, or if it's literally burned out. But some part of the lyrics is he's wanting to get high, and then you get to the end of the world part and the evacuation. It's just a really quirky from a lyrical standpoint, and yet at the same time, not really quirky. It's very poetic. It's a very good song. The overall tone is just so well crafted. I think it's a genius of a song because of the lyrics seem to mesh so well with what Neil Young's doing musically. Next, you have Only Love Can Break Your Heart. Perhaps truer words never been spoken. Wisdom from Neil. This is a very clever title and just a very clever song because it's so true and it's so literal and it's so compelling. The lyrics, are very, very depressing, and yet at the same time, there's a certain catharsis here because it's that wisdom being passed on from Young, perhaps from experience. Then, of course, you get Southern Man, and this is, we all know the history, if we're Neil Young and or Lynyrd Skynyrd fans, about the Sweet Home Alabama song as a rebuttal to this. And then, of course, it's meant to be tongue-in-cheek because on Street Survivors, Van Zandt is wearing a Neil Young t-shirt from the Tonight's the Night album. But what a great song. Neil's vocals are just super amazing here. His vocals are always amazing. But here it's just extra special. The delivery from Neil is just fantastic. It's a goosebump type song. Even just thinking about it, I just love it. These albums are so poetic. It's just great. Then we get to The Morning Comes. It's just 1 minute and 28 seconds. You have horns in the song. It's an okay song. It's not a great song. I do like it, but I don't love it. Then you get Oh Lonesome Me, some wonderful harmonica here. Of course, again, continuing the theme or motif of loneliness that permeates some, but not all of the album. Very much akin to the first song, Tell Me Why. I prefer Tell Me Why, but I love the song also. Oh Lonesome Me is wonderful. Then you have Don't Let It Bring You Down. Equally an amazing song here. Good Advice. It's very poetic. There's definitely poetry going on here. It's a riveting song. The chorus is the highlight of the song. It's Only Castles Burning. Also a theme here or motif with castles in other things in these two albums mentioned briefly. And you could argue, so the medieval thing is back with the mentioning of castles burning. It's Only Castles Burning. Perhaps you could argue that Neil's being sarcastic when he says, don't let it bring you down, that maybe these castles burning is something serious to take into account. You can interpret it, I think, both ways, and both ways are very in the vein of passing on wisdom. Next is sometimes I think the underrated gem Birds. What I mean is, to me, it's underrated. It doesn't get enough love. I love it when he does it live. I have some of that live as well. It's a beautiful piece. The piano is exquisite, and the quote about the birds flying away without you, again dealing with loneliness. Also, the birds are of course a metaphor for the human condition. What a wonderful song. I would argue some days this is in my top 20 of Neil Young songs of all time. Then we get I abbreviated it. When You Dance, I Can Really Love. I Can Really Love You. No, I Can Really Love. Okay, I always think there's a U back there. When You Dance, I Can Really Love. The print is so small. Yeah, so some nice guitar work here. It's an upbeat song, very unlike the rest of the album or most of the album. It's very dark and depressing and yet cathartic. The voice here is dynamite. This also could be a Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young song. It has that vibe and flavor to it. Then you get I Believe in You. This also has a CSNY feel to it. It's a great message, a great song, very poetic, it's very riveting, and it's very inspiring. A great message to tell someone you believe in them. And this is one of those goosebump type songs. I'm all about the goosebumps, as you know, if you've been watching this channel. And then finally you get Cripple Creek Ferry, just over a minute and a half. It's an okay song. I think it's a novelty song. I think it's not the way to end an album. I would have put this somewhere in the middle, and I would have ended the album with I Believe in You, because that would have ended the album on a positive note, as dark as this album can be at times. But what a wonderful album. This is a legendary album to me, one of my favorites by Young. Okay, and then we get to the companion, Harvest. So let's talk about that now. So you have the opening track, Out on the Weekend. This is a slow, meditative song. And it's about being down over a woman, so loss of a relationship. You have some great lap steel guitar here. The acoustic guitar and the harmonica meshes so well with that lap or steel guitar and everything else going on here. It's a wonderful song. I'm so glad that this is what I was going to say, this is one of the best opening tracks in all of rock and roll, I think. And then you get the title track. This is a great country rock song. It's very poetic. It's slow. It's meditative. This is a thinking person song. It's a great story here. I love the message here. Take a look at the lyrics if you're not familiar with it. Wonderful song. Then the next song is wonderful because you have Neil Young with some gas. You have Linda Ronstadt on vocals in the background, and on banjo you have James Taylor. It's wonderful. Of course, I'm talking about, I catch my breath here. Sorry, I lost my A Man Needs a Maid, And A Man Needs a Maid is sometimes misunderstood with respect to the lyrics. It's seen as misogynistic, but if you pay attention to the lyrics, you see that Neil Young is doing something else here. It's literal, but not literal. He's dealing with backing off from the world, kind of beginning what's to come with the Ditch trilogy, and more of that to come, because the maid is meant to represent a buffer zone between him and the rest of the world. And I'm oversimplifying it. If you want to go down the rabbit hole, I can't remember the name of the YouTube channel, but this is a wonderful YouTube channel that it's all about Neil Young and the lyrics and the albums and everything to do with Neil Young. And I'll post that in the comments later for you. If I can remember, I'll try to do that for you. But yeah, and he talks about in greater detail, and it's been a while since I saw it, about how the song is misunderstood with respect to the lyrics. So a wonderful song. A Man Needs a Maid, dealing with loss and not wanting to reconnect or connect with the world because of said loss and that sort of thing. But I'll post that in the comment section for you. And I think this is a wonderful song. I remember seeing a video a while back, two guys ranking their top 10 favorite Neil Young albums, and they mentioned Harvest somewhere along the line, and they both agreed that they never needed to hear the song again. I totally disagree. I love the song. I think this is one of the most poetic of Neil's stuff, and relatable, if you will. All right, has a verisimilitude. Next is the biggest song of his career, Heart of Gold. Great acoustic number, great harmonica, very poetic. Bob Dylan has gone on record as saying he doesn't like the song. It reminds him too much of him. I disagree with that. You need more than a harmonica and an acoustic guitar to be Bob Dylan. Neil Young is his own artist in his own right. There's some similarities, of course, but Neil Young is Neil Young, Bob Dylan is Bob Dylan. To me, this is a Neil Young song. Maybe he's inspired by Dylan, doesn't matter. To me, it's a keeper, and I love the song. It never gets old for me. Probably the first song I ever heard from Neil Young from the radio. Like Bowie, Neil Young, I heard at a very young age. I mean, very impressionable. We're talking 7 or 8 years old, and I've been hooked ever since with both Bowie and Neil Young. Arguably my two favorite solo artists of all time, if you take out heavy metal and jazz. All right, Heart of Gold. Next is, I lost my place here, so I'm just going to go to Are You Ready for the Country, which is a song I often skip, but this is a cool country rockin' song. Again, it's a country rock song that rocks. I like it. It's fun. To me, it's not a great song, but it's a very good song. It is a fun song. You have some upbeat piano and guitar. A very cool tune indeed. And of course, then you get another hit in Old Man. Again, like Heart of Gold, one of the first songs I ever heard, thanks to the radio. Hooked from the get-go. Again, 7 or 8 years old. What a majestic piece, very poetic. There's moments, and I won't bore you with it, but as an English teacher, there are moments in different works I used to teach where a young person is, looking at someone across the room and an older person and making the connection with the similarities between youth and old age and that sort of thing. Really, really good song. Again, very poetic. I love it. Then this next song, I think, is a gem that's underrated. There's a World. And this song has the London Symphony Orchestra with it. What's great about the song, and I'm a big classical music fan, although I don't talk about it here on this channel, this is where country folk rock meets classical music, and it works. You have some harp and other orchestral, symphonic, you have it all, really, and it's a beautiful piece, and there's nothing else like it, really, I don't think, out there in the rock community. It's just, who would have thought classical music meshed with country rock folk would work, but it does. It's a beautiful piece. I love it. Never gets old. Then you get another hit on the album. Then you get the hit Alabama. You have you have a great guitar intro, a wonderful guitar intro. This is some great singing from Neil, some of his best vocal work here. So inspiring. I cannot talk enough about this song. Talking about the South, talking about Alabama, of course, and yet so much more, which I won't go into, but it's a poetically rich song, and I invite you to investigate the lyrics for yourself. But just an overall beautiful piece and so compelling. Next is The Needle and the Damage Done. This is, of course, biographical because Neil, writing about the heartbreak he's experiencing from Danny Whitten's addiction. Of course, we know, the Ditch trilogy that follows, and again, Neil Young taking himself out of the spotlight or wanting to take a step back because of the success of this album. And again, it's beginning to start here. Of course, it comes after the success of this album, but the depression and the beginning of loss starts with the song. But what a great song. There's so many. I have a playlist that deals with addiction. You have Got to Give It Up by Thin Lizzy there, Heroin by Lou Reed, Velvet Underground stuff, all kind of rock music as a playlist in my iTunes. So wonderful song, another hit. This is almost the greatest hits album in many ways. At least half of it is to some of it, but I would argue, because I love everything here, start to finish, it's like a greatest hits, in other words. So The Needle and the Damage Done, don't have to say much about it, but it is such a compelling song because of it's still relevant today because we have this pandemic or epidemic in this country or in North America, and it's a shame. And then finally, a song that I think I never really, as a young man, when I first heard Harvest on vinyl, growing up as a kid, young man, I never really paid much attention to, but I think this is a Black Horse song, Words, and then Between the Lines of Age, in parentheses, I just call it Words. This is a fantastic song. The Neil Young's emphasis on the word words in the song, and then the guitar that follows is just so rich, is so compelling. The phrasing is just perfect. It's genius. And the song, from what I understand, is very biographical. Neil Young's in the kitchen looking out the window, looking, so it's been told, at Carrie Snodgrass, his girlfriend at the time in 1972, coming in with family members who are coming to live with him on his ranch, his castle. And he's writing about, again, very poetic, he's writing about how would people think of him if he didn't live in, quote-unquote, a castle. The piano here is spectacular. So again, do people appreciate you for who you are or because you're a celebrity, that kind of thing. This is a masterstroke of a song, if you ask me. So again, I listen to these quite often. these definitely you can listen to as back-to-back, as a double album. I do. May not be your cup of tea, but that's what this series is all about. So again, this is my 25th video in this series, probably the last one. I can't believe that I never thought of this when I did the series originally, but finally at long last, the 25th pair, and this so rightfully belongs in this series. Again, I can't believe I missed this one, but thank goodness my brain woke me up last night and said, hey, there's your 25th. And again, I'm not going to do a video just to do a video. I'm not going to be disingenuous. I have to put something here that I sincerely believe belongs in this series. And this, of course, these are seminal works. They're master strokes. Two of the best albums of all time in rock history, in music in general. Sometimes I'll listen to them start to finish, and then the second one from start to finish, as I said. Sometimes I'll mix up the tracks a little bit, and it kind of gives you a different perspective, like a parallax view of what Neil Young is achieving here. These are wonderful. I invite you to listen to these back to back and as a double album and tell me what you think. Anyway, take care. I'll see you next time. Bye now.